What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Marketing Millennials podcast. Today, the worlds collide, Gen Z and Millennials. Got Jake Bajorstad's here. He has been the voice of Gen Z for a long time, for Gen Z. He's been running Trendsetters, a Gen Z agency, for a long time. And recently, he's been talking about a topic that, not recently, but at least the past year, he's been talking about TikTok Shop and how it's exploding, and I'm excited to chat about it. But I want to give Jake the time to talk about how he got into marketing, how he started his journey, and then we'll talk about TikTok Shop.
Yeah, Daniel, thanks for having me on, as always. I think I was one of the first few episodes you did, or at least in the first 10. I'll go back and figure out what specific episode it was, but I know we had a nice Gen Z versus Millennial debate. Hopefully today can be a little bit more amicable, something we can all get on board with. Obviously, things have changed quite a bit since whenever that episode was, 2, 3, or maybe even 4 years ago. Glad to see we're both kicking. Obviously, I'm sure I shared on that quite a bit on that original episode. Doubt much of the audience is the exact same from that. So for anyone not in the know, this is a company I started now 6 years ago, which is wild, as a freshman in college. And the reason being, millennials, that was a hot thing at the time. All the agencies were raving and talking about, and millennial-centric marketing was hot. I was doing consulting and some other advertising marketing projects on the side just to make money in high school and freshman year of college. And ultimately, after a consulting call about Snapchat, it's when it hit me like a ton of bricks that the real opportunity here was generational as opposed to platform. And so I stopped everything I was doing, stopped going to class, started Trendsetters, moved out, kicked out of the parents' crib, went to go, live in squalor for quite some time until we made it. And about a year later, we were kicking. And only a few months after that, we had signed McDonald's corporate as a client. And then once a company that size becomes a client, the floodgates really open up. So we continue to operate that as a Gen Z consulting and strategy practice, working with Fortune 1000 nonprofits, startups that are marketing that demographic. And then it's interesting, over the last year, last January, we were brought into the launch of TikTok Shop by the TikTok team. And they said, hey, we're going to roll this out in April, May. We want to work with the premier agencies in TikTok that know it best. Somehow they selected us and a couple of others. We launched 2 of the first 3 brands on the platform in April, and both were immediate home runs out of the gate. And so I kind of looked at the market and decided, okay, let's consolidate all of our marketing efforts down and really make social commerce, specifically TikTok Shop, the sole focus. And the primary reason for that was really incentive alignment, which is maybe something we can get to later in the, us both operating in the agency world, and for anyone on that side, even on the brand side. But, the difficulty with what we did in marketing was we were always the brand builders. So like we would go get, we still have the record for the most viewed TikTok campaign with 8.6 billion for PacSun. And then we would go get hundreds of millions of impressions of brands, like really, or build the brand from the ground up. But then their Amazon agency would take all the attribution, or their e-commerce agency would take all the attribution. Or my least favorite, paid media, would be like, our ROAS is 10 overnight magically. We're doing such good ad creative. Like, no, the hell you're not. We blew you guys up. And it turns out in marketing, if 50 million people are looking at your stuff, your ads will probably convert better. So we would always get hosed on the deal because no one cares about the top of funnel. They only care about the middle and bottom of funnel. And so TikTok Shop really changed that dynamic for us. We started doing restructuring everything where we do our retainers at cost and then we do a percentage of sales. And that alignment really changed the dynamic of the relationship, where it's a lot more partner centric and our incentives are aligned. So we did that in August of last year. We now have 40 plus TikTok Shop brands we work with. We're number 1, 2, or 3 by client revenue, depending on the month in terms of agencies in the US. There's a couple other really great ones. And we're trying to be the absolute best agency in the world at TikTok Shop, and later on what will evolve to be social commerce largely.
Yeah, I mean, congrats on that. That's amazing. And I also think I want to go into, for those who are thinking about TikTok Shop, why go into TikTok Shop? And those who might have never even heard of TikTok Shop, what is it?
So as a quick 101, it's a collapsing of the funnel. And everything that I'm going to talk about and anyone's going to talk about in TikTok Shop, you got to remember that as like point number one. So it's the direct commerce integration where customers, consumers viewing your content on TikTok can purchase the product directly through the platform. So maybe your brand's already on TikTok or not, or maybe you've seen case studies. Historically, it's always been you're doing influencer, you're doing ads, you're doing content, you're doing something in TikTok, and then that conversion is happening on your website on Shopify or on Amazon or some other marketplace, right? Now customers can directly purchase products in platform. And so much of this system now is designed around that. And the beauty of it is it integrates with whatever commerce function you have set up. So this doesn't require you to set up a new version of Shopify, new product SKUs, new 3PL integration. In fact, it integrates directly with Shopify, WooCommerce. People still use that. Any of the major commerce channels, it's going to integrate with. BigCommerce, I think, is more popular now. So however you're currently selling in D2C, you can do so directly to the platform, and those orders are going to come through and flow still through your main commerce channel. So from an integration and setup wise, really quite seamless. But again, most important component is it's an entire collapsing of the marketing funnel and social.
Which makes a lot of sense. I mean, someone had to do it because traditionally you would either have to figure out a way to link out social, which is really hard to do, or get a lot of attention, which you said at the beginning, that someone goes to find you on another platform, or do the old school link in bio. Here's, go check it out, link in bio. But now you have a little thing on the bottom of your screen that says, hey, shop this product. And it feels very organic. Sometimes I'm watching a video and someone's giving a tip and I don't realize they're selling me something until the last 2 seconds of the video. I'm like, oh, they got me. They got me on this video. So it really seamless. But I want to know, like, what type of brand should be doing this? Because obviously there's some that will absolutely crush, and then some might be good to be on the platform, but maybe not crush as hard as some sort of product.
Yeah. So there's statistical barometers, and then there's qualitative barometers that I think pose better for most folks. The any consumer brand, it makes sense to me in the platform, and I can go into some of those reasons why. Even if this isn't going to be significantly revenue driving or profitable channel, because the content alone and the affiliate program and some other things are going to be externally beneficial to other platforms and brand development, and it's different than just traditional social. The barometer we use in terms of can your brand do significant revenue here is if you were to give your product to a random high schooler on the street, told them nothing about the brand, nothing about the product, if they could make a good video, a good 15-second video with your product, you have a potentially 7-figure plus TikTok Shop product and brand. If they can't, you're going to have some difficulty, because the lifeblood of the platform, and for anyone that has been seeing all the news and content around TikTok Shop, the pendulum's moved way too much to e-commerce, and it's forgetting the roots and origins of the platform. So success is still going to be dependent on how well do you do TikTok first, then second, how well do you do TikTok Shop? But that's the barometer we look for. Some of the statistics we look for are definitely lower AOV. So anything over $200 AOV, it's going to be a struggle. That said, there are products in the $100 to $150 range that are moving incredibly well. So lower AOV, repeat purchase is big, but really the biggest component, I can't emphasize this enough, is can it play well on camera? And can it play well on camera with someone that isn't scripted in doing so? because if it can do those metrics, then this is the potentially best platform for you.
And you say, can it do it on camera? What does that look like doing well on camera with the product? What is the setup? If I was going to say I had, say, a protein bar brand, what video should I create if I was a protein bar brand?
Yeah. So for a protein bar brand, and of which there can be many different appeals you could have there, but what does the packaging look like? When I open it up, what is the crunch, or what does it sound like when I bite into it? How does the taste play well to someone's genuine and authentic reaction? This is a platform that's so genuine and authentic that the lifeblood of the platform is going to be organic content. It's going to be affiliates, which I could talk about at length, is how the affiliate marketing kind of ecosystem is evolving. But it's really about, from a messaging component, how is that content being perceived? So it's not, will it look good in studio lighting and with high quality equipment and appeal to luxury or super high visual. It is quite literally selfie style UGC video. Can the product play well in that capacity? Does it blend well to the attributes that are very emotional more than logical?
And then a question I had, just because I'm curious about it, is the trust building factor. Because one thing that has stopped me from buying some things in TikTok Shop is having no idea if this is actually going to work, or is someone just trying to pitch me after I've gone through the whole video. I get sold at least 70% of the way by what they say, but then I'm looking at the product, I'm like, is this good? Is this not good? I know they're saying it's good, but how do you think that component brand should add to it?
Yeah, so the trust factor is certainly something that you have to work to develop. And so the lifeblood of the platform is going to be affiliates. And just to put this in context, affiliate marketing, this has been around forever. This is like pre-social media thing. Like this was the early internet, like blog era. Yet TikTok Shop is really reviving traditional affiliate marketing in a unique way. And the reason being, it's two big components. Number one, all of the ecosystem from a messaging, a sign-on, product delivery, it all happens in platform, which is a huge win for brands because no more email threads with influencers, no more email threads with 3PL to send out samples, no dealing with finance who has to then make sure they mark that as a marketing budget as opposed to some sort of revenue number on product costs or a discount. And so that's component number one. And then number two, the commission percentage, how it's measured is it is not reliant on a customer inserting a discount code. So the problem with traditional affiliate marketing is I'm going to get a code with Athletic Greens and it's going to be, Daniel or Marketing Millennials 15. Now you're only going to get attribution despite your promotion for it. You're only going to get attribution on anyone that uses that discount code. Now, even if they use that discount code, that has to be something like 5, 10, or 15% off. So one, they actually use it. And then two, you're going to have to get your affiliate cut. And now, so for a brand, you're getting double dipped on the discount because 15 to 25% of your margin is going out the window to the affiliate. Another 10 to 20% margin is going out the window on a discount. And as you and I know in marketing, a lot of consumers aren't going to give a shit about the discount because when they click on the website, a pop-up is going to appear and it's going to be for a better discount. And so the affiliate gets hosed. And then also when you go to get paid out as an affiliate, you have no data on how many people actually ordered, actually used your code. Maybe they're giving you Shopify access. I doubt it. And how can you really trust that? What's beautiful about the TikTok platform for affiliates is whatever their discount code is, they're getting attribution whether or not you use a code. And there's usually not any code associated. It's simply, if I come across an affiliate video, see the product icon and purchase, they're getting that attribution immediately. They're getting their payout instantly directly from TikTok, who will front that on the front end. And there's no variance between how many sales they actually drove because it's all tracked in platform. For the entirety of the platform right now of TikTok Shop, of the billions of revenue it's generating, 70 to 80% of all of it is coming from affiliates. And so for every brand, this is the lifeblood. Every brand we're working with, we're doing 100 to 200 affiliate activations every single month. And the ROI on it can be ridiculously extreme. And so that's the lifeblood. Now, when it comes to the trust factor, that's where we're seeing certainly some interesting things. One of the things we found on the affiliate is even though the affiliates are incentivized to sell product, we have found more instances where they are authentic as hell and genuine than not. We've had instances where we've given them free product and then they've given a quite literally honest review that doesn't appear super great for the brand. It's like, oh, that was good. That was okay. Maybe they were a little bit negative about certain components, but it's very real and authentic. So the good creators are staying authentic to their message. There's also a trust factor of the platform. We usually see a significant halo effect in TikTok Shop. It slides up as AOV goes up, but a certain percentage of customers aren't going to buy in TikTok. They are going to buy elsewhere. And so usually if you do $1 in TikTok, you'll see $1 to $2 in organic sales elsewhere also increase. And the reason being, you have a customer that's viewing it on TikTok Shop, getting sold there because it's much more authentic and genuine than Amazon reviews, which we know can be frauded left and right. Every great brand does it. But then they're going to Amazon to ultimately buy it because they already have their credit card filled into Amazon. They have an Amazon Prime membership, and they're going to get the product in 1 or 2 days instead of 3 to 5 days, right? So those are some of the components on the trust side. But for brands, they have to take a very holistic approach to the platform. Far too many are just doing 1 or 2 levers. They're really hitting affiliate. They're really hitting ads. Very few are doing really good ads, really good affiliate, really good organic content, and really good social media work. But the ones that are doing all of those are seeing crazy growth on the platform.
Well, I feel like it's like any marketing channel, right? You launch TikTok Shop, someone might see it, someone might buy on TikTok Shop, which a lot of people are, but they're also going to be that effect of, okay, I want, like you said, go to Amazon, go to Shopify, go find the brand somewhere else to buy it. I think that's you. And then easily to measure that is measure what baseline was before. And then look what TikTok happened in TikTok Shop and look what happened in direct visits on your website or stuff like that and see uptick when you launch TikTok Shop. And then you could see that even the halo effect. But also for you, it's good because you can get direct purchases on TikTok as an agency. And then you also could show uplift now too, which was your number one argument at first was, hey, look, people are shopping all along. That's just how marketing works in general. Facebook ad, someone looks at a Facebook ad. Most of the time, some people are going to purchase off of it, but some people are going to either, hey, see it a couple of times, maybe go to the site, check it out, do research, maybe not use the Facebook ad, and then they get zero attribution on there. So that's how it works. And I think that affiliate thing is very interesting. I also think there's so much opportunity for brands that have personalities in front of it already to unlock this opportunity to just have that face of the brand talk about the product on TikTok and have that TikTok shop there. And I haven't seen many brands do that yet, which I think would be a huge unlock if, for example, a creator either becomes a partner with that brand or something like that. Not the sense of or those creator-led brands who have launched cool brands and doing TikTok shop, which I think that'd be a cool opportunity as well. But I also love that so many just average people can make money now by putting out videos, which is a cool thing to see. You don't have to be a founder to now make money selling a product online. You can be your own QVC on your own channel if you really want.
Exactly. And when you look at some of the top brands, they model off of that. The Exo Marshmallow is a good example, and Lindsay, the founder there, and Art of Sucra, led by Emily Harple. Elijah Extreme, it's a hot sauce brand. They kill it. It's the founder creating all the content, packaging orders. There's a brand I really love called Eva Expressions. They sell anime cosmetics, and all it is their founder talking about it, going live, walking through the process. Another one called Queen Cosmetics, ran by Elamar. There's just incredible brands being built on the platform. Ben Zaver from Seek Supply, arguably building the next big protein brand of our time to go compete with the big boys. And these are brands that are natively being built on TikTok in a really unique way. And so for brands at that level, it's an opportunity to really become a challenger brand in an ecosystem that they're going to be able to compete and outperform against the best and biggest in the space, because they can do things, the unscalable things that the bigger brands can't do. And what we see from bigger brands entering the ecosystem, and what we're always trying to push them into, is really playing to the platform. It's an opportunity for the larger brands to reach and build a new audience that they haven't really sought after before. So, I think too many are looking at this as like an added sales channel, just another way to make revenue, and not looking at it for the opportunity that it really is, which is to grow into new heights and new territory. And, what we always know is that a new potential market is worth infinitely more than just adding customers of an existing market that you're already reaching on other platforms. Reaching people over here to lower ROAS, yeah, it's good, but it's not nearly as beneficial as getting new customers, especially when you factor in return rate. And so that's really, if you boil down the ecosystem, the collapsing of the funnel, that's what makes this ecosystem so unique, and why it's a great opportunity for the smallest of the small brands and the biggest of the big brands all together.
Yeah, it's like a brand saying, "Hey, I have a e-commerce platform. Should I go open a retail shop, or should I open a digital retail shop on rented land?" That's the same thing, and get foot traffic, which is views on TikTok, or should I open up a retail? It's not a new. It's not a. What's cool about this is it has a built-in marketing channel as well, where you when you do retail, you kind of have a built-in marketing channel, which is foot traffic, but you still have to drive a lot of people to that store, whether you like it or not. Where TikTok, you have foot traffic, and you can leverage all the marketing things you could do on TikTok, which is, if you're great on social, or have a great personality, or a great founder, or you do things that are unscalable, you can win really easily on TikTok, where you couldn't even do that on Shopify. Shopify, you have to spend a lot of money to get someone to a Shopify store. It's one channel that has a built-in marketing play, which is cool to see.
And really what's fascinating is how we're seeing influencer marketing evolve. Because there's a lot of brands we talk to that spend a lot on paid influencer, and just over the years, the cost there and the ROI has consistently gone down. We just did with one of the top brands on the platform called Happiest Hour, top 10 in the food and bev category, which no one listening to this has probably ever heard of, but they're giants in the TikTok shop. One of the things we did is we did a product partnership with Dogface, the gentleman from the cranberry, he's drinking the cranberry juice, singing the Fleetwood Mac song, super viral years ago. Now, quite some time ago, that would have cost 25, 50, 100 grand to activate with him. I mean, Nissan is like a brand partner of his. They sent him a freaking truck. And then Toyota did too, to try to compete. We're talking about next level kind of influencer. Instead, we just did a simple product collaboration on commission inside of the ecosystem, and we set records within the first week of our launch on the platform. And so it changes the dynamic. What would be something that would be a significant expense to a brand can be different, because we can roll off of commission, and because all of the sales infrastructure is built in a really unique way, where we can rely on that as the go ahead. And beyond just partnering on a new product, we've even had success creating custom product bundles. So, if we're working with a protein bar brand and really big fitness influencer gets a hold of the product and does a really good job in their promotion, we can turn around and spin out, okay, we're going to create a custom box for you that's going to have all your top flavors. They can feature that in their shop profile on their page as an affiliate. And now we're incentivized forever. So you can work and engage with creators in such a different way because you're getting rid of the upfront costs usually associated with it, which is, I know, the thing that always holds us back from working with the big influencers. It's like, oh, I don't want to pay the talent agency 50 grand out of pocket just to maybe do something. So that's where we found a lot of success, is either building creator-led brands / getting creators on board with it, or going and launching unique creator bundles exclusive to TikTok.
I mean, I've always said that the best creator partnerships, that you need to have some stake in the game for the creator. Otherwise, they're just one off. They have no affinity unless they really love the product before and you're giving them something to promote it. Like you've seen with like Charlie and Duncan on all those organic things that have been done. But now it's even more authentic when you say custom bundle. You already been using the product. Let's do that. Hey, let's launch a flavor with you that's exclusive to TikTok Shop. I also think that exclusivity thing is really important. That you're saying is, even when people do, let's say, launch on Amazon, they always will have like an exclusive thing that you only can get on their Shopify store, so that it incentivizes people to go to Shopify. You need that some sort of differentiator that you can only get on that platform. Otherwise, sometimes like, what's stopping them from going to Shopify or Amazon if it's not exclusive? I think that's super important to have some sort of exclusivity thing. Whether I've seen people do price exclusivity, like you only can get this price for the Celsius and this time, whatever, on TikTok, or I've seen people do that bundle stuff, but something exclusive that makes me want to buy. Even people doing that on Instagram shop too, where they will launch like an exclusive hat for like their merch, and that's exclusive to I think exclusivity is just key to making sure that you launch something that gets bought, and then they can have affinity to your brand on that platform for a longer period of time.
And I know we both view, in many ahead of the curve, social media as like the best grounds for consumer insights imaginable. And I mean, we do Gen Z consulting for some of the biggest brands in the world. And that's one of the first things we'll tell them. We're like, yeah, we can do surveys, we can do focus groups. It's kind of not real though. The thing that really matters is like social, because you have both the quantitative and the qualitative data. And so when it comes to the propensity to launch a new flavor, a new exclusive product, if you're thinking of where to go with that, it doesn't need to happen alone in your boardroom trying to plot the perfect thing. You can literally make a video and just ask people. And then you can go off the comment section and go with what people say. And probably the 500 people that advised you to do a coconut flavor, what do you think they're going to do when you reply, comment, stitch that, and post that as a TikTok and actually drop the flavor? Like, they're going to be stoked about it. You're building such a sense of community in a way that you can't do on Shopify, because they can all interact with one another. They can interact with your brand. They can interact with the affiliates promoting your brand. They can interact with the products displayed on your shop. And those are things that there's no comparable to Shopify. You buy the product, you get put into an email list. It's a one-to-one relationship between you and the brand at that point. You're not involved in their community. You're not involved in all these other things happening. Whereas what makes TikTok so unique is that communal effect. And one of the craziest things we've seen is like, we'll run a sale or we'll run a promo, and we won't even have time to get it out to affiliates, letting them know about it, because maybe it's a snap decision. And before you know it, there's 50 affiliate videos the next day all talking about the sale. And we didn't even tell them. Like, they haven't even seen the email that we sent them yet. They just saw it and immediately jumped on it because they really love the brand and they really love promoting the brand. And, indirectly, they're being compensated to do so. But it's one of those things that you don't have to push them. If you build the right community, they'll do all the work for you.
Yeah, and I think it's a two-sided community, right? You have to build a community of people who love the product that will promote it. And then the other community is the buyers who are on the platform that maybe be lurkers on the platform, because most people on social media are lurkers. But you still have the ability, whoever comments, whoever shares, whoever stitches, whoever does anything, you can play the game of acting the brand. And those are the unscalable things that you talked about earlier, where most brands are not going to do that. Most brands are not going to take the time and remember a stitch or something like that. I want to ask, like, if you had like top 3 advice for people starting TikTok shop today, what would that be?
There's infinite things you can do. The question is, what should you do out of the gate? One, get set up, get everything integrated, get your products listing, think about unique product bundles or how you select and select your hero products. So that's number one. Number two, pump inside of the affiliate center in TikTok shop and test everything until you activate, not get 100 sample requests, until you activate with 100 affiliates. At that point, here's number 3. This is really easy, and this doesn't cost you anything outside of product cost, and the setup is obviously free. As your third thing, go through with your team and look at all the data on all 100 affiliate videos, see who did the best, and try to correlate to some of their data metrics. And then 2, go and watch all those videos and read through all the comments, and you will at that point have a definitive answer for what your go strategy should be on TikTok shop. That is the easiest thing you can do. You can make all of that happen within a 3 to 4 week window. And by the end of that 3 to 4 weeks, you're going to have a definitive answer for how are we going to be able to succeed on TikTok shop. And again, what's the cost associated with that? It's 100 times whatever your baseline product cost is for your hero product. That might be $700 for some brands selling at $20 and their product cost is $7. So, I mean, we're talking marginal expenses here at best. This is team dinner cost stuff. So go do that. And then once you find the right path, go execute against that right path. It might be you need to pump organic content social. It might be ads. It might be affiliate in this niche category. There's a lot of different things you can do, but just get started in testing, because it's the only platform in the world where marketing and conversion are directly connected. So you're going to get to the right answer.
And not only marketing, a platform that rewards organic views and organic reach, where there are very few platforms that still do that, and integrate. There's only one platform that integrates both of it. I mean, I could say LinkedIn is a great way to promote. They have great organic views, but there's no way for me to sell a software on there unless I link out. So what is a marketing hill you would die on?
Oh, there's a lot. I don't know if you saw I had a post last week that went crazy arguing about Instagram grids. And it was mainly you millennials attacking me. One person commented, they go, there's 2 types of people in the world, aesthetic and non-aesthetic people. And I said, thank you, Jessica, for, Gardner and Nielsen just said, we're going to close up shop. We don't need any more consumer insights. There's only aesthetic and non-aesthetic people. Anyway, so I have some thoughts about that. The one I'd say, the hill I would die on is that brand guidelines and brand standards do far more damage than they do good. And I would argue that to death to anyone. And I got the data to back it up. Brand guidelines, brand standards, we need to burn those to the ground. They don't do anything good for marketing, and they do more to limit good things than they do to create good things.
Yeah, I would just rephrase it to like brand guardrails. Like there should be a little bit of like things where you should say, hey, we don't do this and this, but not hey, I have to look a certain way, I have to feel a certain way, I have to do this, I have to do that, because otherwise you can't.
Colors, fonts,
Exactly.
Shot angles, label out. Like it's literally what we did in the 50s for like magazines. Like, and we're still doing it. It's crazy.
It's also, I mean, since I'm a creator, I get a bunch of briefs from brands, and I see it has to say this, it has to say that. I'm like, this is not going to work on social. And they're like, I still want to do it. And then it doesn't work. And they're like, why doesn't it work on social? Because you didn't let me do what works on social. So it's not going to work on social. Just let you do what works. You can have guardrails, meaning, hey, we only talk to this. This is our ICP, or like this is our customer base we want to talk to. Like, we don't get political with our product or something like that. That's a guardrail. Yeah, but it's not, oh, if you don't use red and green, it doesn't count. It does not. It's not a good product.
Oh, the messaging, to your point, that's what freaks me out the most, because usually the brand's telling you that they don't actually have any research to back up that messaging against other messaging. It's they paid some brand agency who told them that was good messaging. And so we're going off of some 35-year-old graphic designer from Nashville who is not in our ICP at all. And that's what we're going with, because that was what the copywriter wrote, right? And then that's the messaging you should use, as opposed to your own interpretation, as if people consume content and read the words out in their head, as opposed to it's just what the definition of a brand is. Some people think brand is something you can touch. When I've interviewed the CMO of Coca-Cola before. The first thing he'll say is that brand is not something you can see or touch. It's the definition of your company in every individual's head that comes across it. And so there's 1 million, billion, 8, whatever people on earth now there are interpretations of what a brand is. And yet we still live in an era where sentence structure matters for messaging.
I think people make a mistake between brand and branding. I think there's two different things. And I think that's where because brand to me is if you turned off all paid channels and promotions, like, what does organic do? And are you still getting sales? Are you still getting people talking about you? That's pretty much brand to me. And I noticed I didn't say, hey, it's my logo or anything like that. It's what are people still loving and have a community around my brand, even if I turn that off. Branding is all the other stuff that, hey, I want to have this aesthetic. I want to have this feeling. I think you could still have a style that you follow, but when you're handing off a brief to an influencer, they know their audience way better than you. So let them do what they're doing to sell your product. Internally, you can have something that's, hey, we like to be funny. Like, we like to be this. And if it doesn't come off of that, then, but that's more internally, like how you come off as a brand on your social or your emails or your stuff. But externally, let whoever is talking about your brand, talk about your brand how they want to talk about your brand. Because it doesn't really
You're
matter.
totally right. Yeah. And there's certainly a time and place for branding. I think it's only at the level of significant household penetration and significant consumer awareness. And branding for me is like, hey, we're Coca-Cola. We want to associate ourselves with the color red. Okay, that makes sense. Right now around me within a 1 mile radius, there's 8,000 Coca-Cola products that I'm going to come across, right? That makes sense to me to invest the time, energy, and effort. Now, for a brand that no one's ever heard of, that says we want to associate with ourselves with the color yellow because it's going to make people feel this way, maybe doesn't matter. Maybe doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, there's a difference between someone who already has an established brand and then TikTok Shop is for a lot of the challenger brands that we talked about before, trying to challenge, and really nobody's going to remember that you're yellow or green or purple. They're just going to remember, do you have a good product? Do you have a good community? Do people talk? Does your product taste good? Like who's talking about your product? Those are the things that matter to them. They're not going to be, besides Coca-Cola and some other like McDonald's or these big brands, most colors don't. If I think of a color, I'm not going to think about a challenger brand. That's just blatantly honest. I'm not. But I'm going to think about like, oh, what do I put in my water? like as a supplement for electrolytes. Okay, it's a challenger brand. It's not something else. Like what type of microphone do I use? It's usually a challenger brand now than something else. So lastly, I want to say, where can people find you and what are you doing?
Yeah, they can find me anywhere. I'm obviously always on LinkedIn, Jake Pajorseth, trendsetters.com. We have a TikTok shop strategy guide that we'll send to anyone and everyone interested. We have all these podcast materials called the TikTok Shop Show that you can check out. We have all the case studies, you name it. So if you're interested in Gen Z TikTok Shop, we're the definitive folks that you should talk to.
Sounds great. Thank you so much for coming on. And I learned a lot about TikTok shops because honestly, I'm not, but my wife is in e-commerce. So I hear about it all the time. So it's good to get the rundown from someone who's in it every single day. So thank you for chatting about it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, everyone.